Over the past few weeks, I've been paying designers from all over the world to go head to head to create the best possible logo within a week. In week 1, we saw Abner and Jeremiah tackle Pally's Pizza. Week 2, we had Jay and Daniel with Moonrise Kombucha. And this week, we've got 2 new designers from Fiverr to go head to head in this logo battle. Who will win? Who costs more? What does their logo design process look like? Stick around to find out.
I'm Nuria, I'm from Argentina. Right now I'm in Belgium and I've been designing for 14 years actually. I think it would be one project for a coffee shop, a coffee roaster that's called Leven from Taiwan, which was really deep and comprehensive, and I was able to develop a lot of pieces, do some illustrations as well, and I really like that one.
Hi, my name's Lewis and I'm 26 and I'm from Derby in the UK. I've been designing for around 8 years and 5 years on Fiverr. So my favourite project through Fiverr would be Luminary Studios, and they do work for Marvel and the Star Wars series. I did a full branding project with that, a website mock-up, I did motion graphics, shapes, and I made the shapes from the logo, and I really enjoyed that brief.
Are you guys ready to see this week's brief?
Yes, please!
Yes, I'm ready, I'm excited.
Welcome to Willow Hearth, an artisan coffee house and roaster nestled in the heart of Seattle. We're not just a coffee shop, we're a sanctuary for coffee lovers of all ages, offering a warm, cozy and welcoming environment. Our commitment to quality and sustainability means you'll always enjoy ethically sourced beans, plant-based milk and fresh ingredients. Our family-owned farm and our passion for sustainability are at the core of everything we do, ensuring that every sip and every bite contribute to a better world. So here's some of the details. We're looking for a fresh brand identity that accurately reflects our story. We want our customers to really feel our vibe when they look at our visual assets. It needs to be versatile, as we'll need to display the identity on many different materials, such as mugs, to-go mugs, napkins, food wraps, and containers, signage, as well as all the digital platforms like our social media pages and website. Some of the brand keywords that we like are connection, creativity, warmth, cozy, eco-friendly, plant-based, organic and culture. Our target audience are families, people of all ages and all genders, coffee connoisseurs, young professionals, artists and Seattle locals. Our main competitors are Cafe Vita, Hood Famous Bake Shop, Cloud City Coffee Roasting Company. We have lots of competitors in the area. You can pause the video now if you want to design your own logo before seeing their work. The brief is in the description. Now I've told Nuria and Lewis about the brief, let's see how they're feeling about the challenge.
My initial thoughts so far in the brief is a keyword that's hitting me is the connections aspect and the warmth. So the logo really needs to show connection and friendliness. So yeah, excited to start.
The first thing that comes to mind is that the logo needs to reflect the tradition in the brand and the history and the family behind it. So I'm already imagining some the shape of the logo or some typographies that would go well with that.
So my first impression of Nuria, I actually did have a look at her portfolio and her website, and she's a really good designer. So, it's going to be hard competing with her, but that's all the fun as well. So I think we're 2 completely different designers. Her work's quite different to mine, but I think that will make the video good because you can see kind of my style and her style in the same brand. So yeah. So
my first impression about Luis is that he's really practical. He seems to already have the process going on in his head. So yeah, he seems like a tough contender.
My strategy to win is to just do what I do best, and that's use my brain. I've got an act for what I've done. I'm self-taught, so I'll just use the brief, do my own process, and we'll see how it goes. So I have actually worked on a few coffee brands. One in particular was Tandapi Coffee, and that's also on my Fiverr profile. So yeah, I'm excited to start.
So I think my strategy will be to get really deep into this, very deep, researching and listening to music, even, I don't know, whatever I can find that's related to this. And yeah, trying to get into the flow state somehow, and anything that I can find that I can use as inspiration.
We now know how they both feel about the brief and their rough ideas, so let's see how they're getting on with their logo creation process.
So even before starting my process, I like to normally just gather some inspiration, take myself somewhere, in this case cozy, just to kind of just look at coffee brands through Behance. This is like my first bit of research. It's not really research. I just kind of gather inspiration off other coffee brands, you know, what's the trends, what's kind of like happening, and yeah, I just kind of switch off and just look. That's even before I start mind mapping.
Okay, so first from the brief and the research, I was debating myself between the idea of doing a traditional looking logo or a more modern one. The traditional to represent the old family owned business, and the modern one to the more to show the cultural and sustainable side of it. Then I realized that maybe I could do something that looked retro but unconventional or not traditional. And I thought about inspiration from the 60s in the groovy lettering and the sign painted signs, hand painted signs. So I lean on that direction.
So to start my process, I like to mind map. Basically, I pick out words from the brief. This instance will be kind of Willow and Hearth, obviously, for the name. Keywords such as connection, creativity is what I always do, and I wanted to make it creative. And obviously, warmth, cozy was a big one, eco-friendly. And obviously, the colours I kind of brought in the organic kind of feel. I always mind map just to kind of get my ideas across. And actually, during when I was mind mapping, I thought tree. And then I kind of thought a hearth, a fireplace, you know, kind of the arches. But yeah, this is how I start my process.
Let's chat about Fiverr. Nuria and Lewis, unlike our other designers so far, are on Fiverr. We've created a lot of fun videos over the years with Fiverr. It's a platform that works as a marketplace for any designers to give options of services they can offer, and also for clients looking for other help with things needed for their companies, from menu designs to full-scale brand projects. Fiverr recently introduced Neo, which is a smart matching tool in which their clients can type in their requirements and it will suggest the best options for them using its AI powers. AI is everywhere now, isn't it? It allows clients to customize what they need and allows designers and pretty much every kind of seller on the platform to be able to send custom offers that get the client exactly what they need. It's quite a cool new feature on the platform, so be sure to check it out. Thanks to Fiverr for making this video possible. And now let's get back to the video and see how the designers have been getting on. Nuria, show us your presentation.
First, of course, some research of the direct competitors and some brands that have either a sustainable side to them or a social impact. And I included some international brands from different parts of the world. And the one in the middle, Los Compas Coffee, is one that I made that has a very similar kind of concept behind it. And then some inspiration. I was looking at different ways of representing the willow and some bespoke lettering or hand-painted signs. Immediately realized that I wouldn't be able to put the willow and the hearth or the fireplace in one icon. So I thought, let's make the shape of the logo like a fireplace, like a hearth. And that way it will be welcoming, it will be also warm and cozy without being too complex. So these are some sketches that I made. I arrived to some conclusions when I was starting to sketch this. One, that I didn't want it to look too polished. I wrote the keywords on top of the page so I would have them present all the time. And I quickly realized that there were some things that I didn't want for the logo. I didn't want it to look too polished. I didn't want it to look sophisticated or witty. And then my initial concepts, again, here I was debating myself if I should go for script lettering because of all the connection, for the connection keyword that we had. But then it took me to a more commercial look. So I went back to the not scripted fonts. So drum roll, please.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
So here you have the different parts of the logo that can work separately. I was also very doubtful of using a closed shape in the beginning because of legibility issues. And also I know that that's an important point, not only in branding in general, but for Will. And well, then I was trying to go for a safer and not so arch, but then I said just it, and I did it the way I wanted it. And I did it this way. The color scheme is this one, and I tend to go for very contrasting and very colorful color schemes, but for this it didn't make so much sense since it didn't have to be so commercial, so it should be more subtle, and also for sustainability purposes it would be better that the main color was a color that was light. So I went for this, which is also very warm, so I think it works. And here comes all the mockups. This is the best part of it, like the mockup, please, because I feel like all the doubts are cleared out when you see that it works. I also added some phrases that would go well with the brand concept. I used the kind of slogan, welcome home, because I felt that it worked for the brief. And these are some social media posts in where you can see that the logo works well as a kind of window into something else that you can put behind. I also allowed myself to do some fake 3D doormat.
Nice.
Because I felt like it would go very well, and in terms of concept it had a link with that, and I think that's it. Yes.
Nice.
That is it.
Brilliant. Yeah, so first of all, I really love the idea. You can definitely feel that it's warm. And that's down to the color palette that you've chosen. Everything's got this kind of temperature up to the yellow side, which is nice. It makes you feel it's kind of retro as well, which is a big thing nowadays. When it comes to like coffee houses and things, people don't like it to be commercial. People prefer it to have the home, small town feeling, that there's not like a lot of money being made, that it's not down for corporate greed. It just feels like something that's a passion project for someone. So I really like that. I like the fact that it's in the shape of a hearth as well. That's clever. I like that. It's very legible in a way. And the fact that you put the willow inside into this in a clean icon is very interesting to me as well. What about you, Sam?
Yeah, I really, really love it. The way you drew the willow as well, it's not, the normal way you see a willow tree illustration, it's very clever. And the fact that you chose to put it in the center and remove it also has allowed you to develop a full design system, which you then show us into the mock-ups. And I think that was really clever as well.
Yeah, I really like it. It feels very homely.
It does.
And it's well kerned as well, so well done. Yeah, the color scheme there. I really like the accent color that you've got going on. It's very innocent in a way. You've got the nice browns, the cream going on there. It's very warm. And then you've got this really natural green popping up, which is nice. I'd like to have seen it more on the coffee cups, I'll be honest, in a more of a band type of way, as in maybe at the bottom of a band on the green on the cup, just to highlight the accent a little bit more, because right now it feels very much like it's brown and this nice white color that you've got, this cream color. But I do love the color scheme that you've got. I just wish I saw the green more.
I did try some of the green in the cup of the to-go, in the lid of the to-go cup, and it worked. But I wanted, when I was looking at the presentation, I was cutting down on the green and turning some things back to the main color, because I felt it was too prominent when I was looking at all the pages.
I would never have thought to put the ampersand in on the right, because I would be afraid that the balance of the logo type in art.
But it's the only way that I could make it work.
But it works well.
Yeah,
yeah, which is difficult because an ampersand is a very odd character.
Yeah.
Even to design one that fits in this case and make it legible. Again, some of my problems that I would think of when creating that would be it would look like the number 8 or something, or people won't understand it. But you've done it in a really tasteful way that communicates it perfectly. So yeah, well done.
Thank you.
All right, Lewis, let's see your presentation.
So this is the start of my presentation. This is the typography that I edited to kind of match the icon. So I did like kind of patterns in the background to represent the arch from the willow, just as to kind of for the branding.
Totally.
Nice.
So that's the finished logo. So obviously it's not too geometric, so I have gone with the soft edges. You'll see on my video that I sent over, but I still wanted to keep it quite minimal. So obviously on a coffee cup, on an Instagram profile picture, it can still be consistent and memorable. But obviously my initial thought was for people to see a willow tree and then kind of, there's a fireplace and a hearth kind of thing with the text.
First of all, Lewis, I'll say, yeah, well done. It's good.
Yes, it's awesome.
I can see the similarities. I know I'm cutting you off, but I think it's important. I can see the similarities, but it's a completely different direction at the same time as well, which I like a lot as an icon. And love the uses of the brand patterns in the background so far. So yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
So if we go further down, that's just obviously a few of my sketches. They were in the presentation, and the mind mapping, and then there's just me kind of researching. Yeah, so here I included the brand keywords that I took from your brief, and this is the description of the logo. Okay, so obviously the flame, which is incorporated with the stem, obviously represents the warm coziness and relaxation. And obviously the willow tree, I wanted to reflect with a coffee shop. You could go in, unwind, and make memories with people, connect with people.
Nice.
The fireplace obviously represents the hearth, which you can kind of see at the bottom of the tree.
It's very clever. Okay, so scroll back down, and here's talking about the brand keywords, and this is a really good way of presenting to a client. I like that. Scroll down even further to the next page, and we'll see what we got.
So yeah, here the mock-ups start for the brand. So obviously I made like a pattern from the willow tree. If we go down, I kind of created just things you kind of see on social media. And then these patterns here, again, are from the tree to kind of represent smiles or someone in joy, or like unified circles to connect people together. But it's all created from the logo.
Do you know, I really like the fact that you've done that. It's one thing that's really important with these brands is that if you can't see the logo, you can sort of smell it everywhere. So whether that's through the color, whether that's through a certain geometry in the actual logo or in the brand, that you can reuse that everywhere. And I think you've done a cracking job of that.
So here obviously is the icon, the primary, the word mark, and obviously the secondary horizontal, just in case you need to use that for any printing purposes. But the main is the vertical kind of logo.
Very nice.
And then there's just more mock-ups here on billboards just to show the brand in action. And then so here was like kind of, again, just some wall art in a coffee shop.
Oh, no way.
You kind of think, it's the logo, but obviously non-designers wouldn't see that, but they kind of think, unified circles, connection, or like, I'm with my friends, but they can identify that with the logo kind of thing.
That's really important because in the brief, you've hit on that part of connection, which is odd in a coffee shop. I don't think many brands have the idea of connection in there. It's more of like a self-indulgence of like getting your fix or something. But here you've made it a social thing, and having the wall art in there, even with the images, they've got the same color that you've gone for. They've got the nice feeling that you're supposed to have with this, the cozy and eco-friendly colors that you've got going on. It feels like you've hit the brand keywords on the head.
Agreed. And I will say that in the brief there is connection because they want to bring the community together, they want to have all these events, host art exhibitions, so you've really took it a step further with that as well. And
also the target audience was kind of was it for everybody, and I kind of didn't want to make it too luxury, too kind of vintage. I just wanted it and not too modern, but for people to kind of all come together. But yeah, the colours I used, obviously it's like a beigey pinky. It's kind of an organic colour, but I really liked the dark theme as well because I don't see it enough in coffee brands. But I thought, if you're almost going into like a willow tree or the coffee shop, you can feel, cozy, and it's all dark and like a dark vibe I was going for.
Yeah. It's not like, a lot of coffee shops go for the cleanliness
Yeah.
which is like sterile feeling. This and what you've created is literally like a cappuccino color.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
nothing revolutionary, but it's done with the right contrast with everything. So everything's very visible. The logo works really well. It's very dark.
So these are a few web mock-ups I created just to kind of show the brand, along with some kind of social media posts. And then there's also here, so you can see it, what it would look like. So there again, you can see the icon on the circle pick. And for me, it just works because it's just memorable with the brand colours. And that kind of wraps up the presentation. There's a few more mock-ups here that I did again with the pattern.
Wow. Well,
I did have a little video mock-up, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
So this is a social media post that I created showing the inverted colours, going from dark to light, coziness, and kind of a few of the mock-ups from before, just to kind of show people what it would look like if, they're on Instagram. And I mean personally for me, if I saw it, I'd be like, oh, as a designer, but, it kind of catches the eye.
It's great.
That's cool.
It's very subtle but nice.
All right, guys, thanks so much for your presentations. Me and Will are going to go have a chat for about 5 minutes, and then we'll bring you back.
Okay, let's look at Nuria's work. So what I liked about Nuria was her sketches. That she's got
Me too.
so many nice ones, right?
Lots of exploration, very cute, well done sketches.
Yeah. I feel like she could have used some of these as like different, not saying different logos, but in different frames. Because we see here, the one that she's sort of gone for, where is it?
That one, yeah.
Like these sort of styles. It would be cool to have things like this one here in that framing and composition in the similar style. All of the ideas are really well put together, but the main logo that she's chosen was very interesting.
It's very different, isn't it? But in a good way. It's very expressive and illustrative.
Yeah, like the willow is like very symmetrical, or balanced, should I say. It's not symmetrical. She's got a really good use of like the trunk here. I really appreciate that, to offset it slightly. Yeah, it's not like balanced one way or another. You could split this design straight down the middle and it looks good. Is that Will Smith down there? I think
Yeah,
so.
that's so funny.
That's good to have. The overall design of it, I'm very impressed. The only thing that was really kind of annoying me is sort of the apex of the W and the fact that the middle part of the W feels very thick. But I think that's like
Compared to the rest.
yeah, I think it's a style that she's chosen though. My only criticism of this style of logo is the trendiness of it. In 10, 20 years time, will this stand the test of time? And I'm unsure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and that's like my only thing really. There's so many good points about it. It's hard to find negative points. Not that I'm wanting to. However, it seems to be the target audience that I feel like is missed here. She's done very well at targeting a specific group, but it's that comes at the cost of like possibly, and I'm uncertain, of possibly ostracizing other groups from the identity itself.
Right, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
It does feel very young. That being said, like you said, I don't see... It is hard to say.
Yeah.
If older people would come, I mean, probably people would come with their families or their kids.
Oh yeah.
But it might be just a little bit too playful for the older audience.
Okay, so Lewis's work. I mean, his presentation, I must say, is a lot better.
He knocked it out of the park with the presentation.
This here really is clever. It's like going onto a website. He's really created an experience, gives it that wow moment. And when you're presenting work to a client or when you're presenting work at all, it's very difficult to get that wow moment across. And he's done that here by just the scale of the logos here, the way that things move. He's just done a great job. And the brand's DNA is throughout. Like, here is the logo. And
It is.
I am impressed with this, I'll be honest.
It's very clever.
Yeah, it's just the ampersand here as well. Everyone's got the ampersand in a very unique way, and I really like how that breaks it up. I thought that this would be more of a problem at first because Willow is shoved further to the left, so it doesn't feel like balanced. And the more that I'm looking at it, the more that I'm okay with it because it has that more innocent feeling throughout.
Yeah, what he did with the type is very, very smart because if he were to choose a font like Helvetica or a clean, geometric, friendly sans serif font, it wouldn't have the same feel as this does now, because The icon is very clean, and he's added the playful type, which really gives it a fun, cozy sort of feeling, comfortable feeling.
What I do like about the actual logo itself as well, because I haven't touched on that yet, is you can definitely see a hearth in there. You can see a willow tree more prominently, and the fact that it's not just like an icon makes a lot of sense. It feels as if he spent a lot of time on this to try and explain, like over-explain it, which is, I think, perfect for this type of project, especially when you go for an abstract icon. You need to have things like this, where it's explained each section of it. So Sam, this has been 2 amazing projects. The work in them is outstanding. Should we do a 3, 2, 1 and then give the person that we think should win?
Ooh, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1.
Lewis.
Okay, yeah, we're in. Main reason why I chose Lewis is because Lewis's work felt a lot more complete and fully rounded compared to Nuria's work. I did appreciate Nuria's illustrations, but I feel like trendy work doesn't last the strength of time. And this sort of groovy typography that she used, although I love it, I think it would have to be changed in the future.
His work aligned more with the brief in the fact that it will attract all types of people, all types of ages, all types of genders, even old people and young people.
Brilliant. Let's get back in and announce the winner. So guys, me and Sam had a quick chat about your work. By the way, we both loved it. We're not just saying that, it's just the work is incredible. Both of them have very unique attributes to them, and some of it was quite similar, which is great because it means that you followed the brief, which is amazing. It's exactly what we want to see. This is YouTube though, so someone has to win. But before we find out the winner, I want to know how much you guys cost, because we don't know. So only the producers know. So I'm going to ask Lewis, how much did you charge us for the work that you shown?
$325.
325. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Charge more. Nuria, how much did you charge us for the work?
12,000. No, I'm kidding.
That's what I say.
Wow. I charge $625.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, it should be looking more towards that 12,000 range, Nuria, I'll be honest. Guys, that is not enough. Your work is outstanding. Both of you have done a great job in not only designing, but following the brief. And in a world where design isn't seen by a lot of people, laymen, people who don't do design work, it's seen as not very special or not very hard work. They just think we sit at desks. In a world where people see it like that, we need to show them that we're problem solvers. So charge more, add a 0 on. It's always hard at first to charge more, but if you just incrementally boost your prices, you'll start to see you won't slow down in sales. That's just your own fears playing in. But with that being said, we've got to choose a winner. Now, me and Sam went off and had a chat, and we had a look at your work, and we sort of asked ourselves some of the issues that we saw, if there was any, which was very minor. So this is making our jobs very difficult indeed. So with that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to say Lewis was the winner. And the reason behind that is mainly because of his substantial presentation, in my view. I feel like the way that Lewis presented the work, what he did a good job in, is making it feel like a wow moment for us. As in, the first thing that we saw was a hero image, which really solidified us. And as you went through the process and showed through the presentation, you showed us in that how the brand mark can work in different areas. Now, what we loved about Nuria's presentation was that it's very honest. It was very open. It showed the sketches prior, which I would have loved to have seen more of in Lewis's presentation. I love seeing the glow up in Nuria's work, where you can actually see, okay, this didn't work, but this did. This didn't work, and why? And then you showed us even more in context with those mock-ups. Those mock-ups were sick, really liked them, and I want one of the bottles. However, what I found of your work, Nuria, and this is just me saying this is like my opinion, so take everything I say with a bucket of salt, but the Wordmark is very on trend. Now, in the brief, it talked about this being a coffee shop, not for anyone, but for everyone. So family and friends and things like that, whether it's on the high street, whether it's people coming from work, going to work, mums and dads going in with their kids. And I feel like you hit the nail on the head with the younger crowd with that type. It was very groovy and I loved it because, you know me, I love my retro work. However, when you target an audience, you inadvertently close an audience as well. And I feel like with Lewis's work, because it was more minimal and less groovy and retro in that way, it opened the doors up for more people to appreciate the actual brand. It made it feel more open towards them, and it didn't have a specific target audience. What about you, Sam?
I agree. Your work is incredible. You are a very good illustrator, and we just felt that that it targeted too young of people, whereas Lewis's targeted a whole wide range of people, which just fit the brief ever so slightly more.
It's very difficult to brand a coffee shop that's different, and one of the hardest challenges is to brand a coffee shop because there's so many different ones. And you've both created a coffee shop brand that really does stand out from the rest. So with that, you should both be really happy about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, like really happy, obviously. Yeah, just really happy. I can't believe it. And all the comments you all said was just better than winning.
Oh, but it's all true as well.
It
Yeah,
is.
no,
all
it
true.
was. That's the comments are, for me, the best thing. So, yeah.
Good.
I'm glad, man. Yeah, I want to see your pages, like with a couple extra zeros on there. Because honestly, that work has blown us away. Me and Sam, we're always blown away with the work and the pricing differences, because there's so many talented designers like yourselves that are charging not as much as they should be. And there's a lot of like bad designers out there that are charging a lot.
Yeah.
So we need to flip the switch a little bit and start working out how and strategies to charge more. And my advice for you would be to what's known as bite the bullet and just incrementally increase a few $100s more. Go to $1,000, then go to $1,500 and see where you go. Base your pricing off the work that you've done in the past and increase it from there. You'll only ever get more expensive. If you would like to find Lewis and Nuria, then both of the Fiverr links will be down below in the description. Lewis, Nuria, thank you so much for being part of this series. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We've thoroughly enjoyed all your work. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next Friday. See you soon.